live at SEC Media Days. It's part of our Orange Bowl Media Tour presented by Duffy's Sports Grill. And this is exciting because I'm sitting across from somebody who I think I'm going to have a lot more in common with than most people listening would imagine. Eric Poms, he's the Chief Executive Officer of the Orange Bowl Committee. And it's funny because I've talked with you so many times on the phone, getting you ready to either go on with Joe Rose and Zach Krantz in the morning or Hurricane Hotline with Joe Zagacki. You've been on Hochman and Crowder as well before, but I've never had the pleasure to sit and chat with you. So this is exciting, Eric. Another year for the Orange Bowl, getting ready to host a playoff game, the semifinal of the college football playoff game, and another year of college football. What's better than that?
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's great being with you.
Yes, thank you.
We've talked for many, many years, and to be in front of you is an honor.
Thank you. Same for me, by the way. Same for me. Yeah.
We grew up in the same area.
We
I'm
did.
just a little bit older than you.
We did. So we're both Kendall guys. So how about that?
Guys.
Putting Kendall on the map. That's what I want to hear.
Yes.
You went to Killian. I grew up right around that area, went to Arvida.
Yeah.
So, maybe when we get back to Miami, we'll meet up at Killian Cafe.
Good spots around there.
Yeah,
for
man.
Sure,
yeah,
for
Kendall's underrated, Eric. I got to tell you. People like to throw shade at Kendall, and I won't stand for it.
Yeah.
I won't stand for it.
Well, when I was growing up, you told me where you live, and that was about as west as you could get.
Right.
And now it's central Miami, so it's really developed, and I had a great time growing up in that area and going to Killian, and take great pride in that. So proud of you too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure. A lot of fun times at Don Carter's bowling alley. We could do this all day.
We could do it all day.
I won't bore you with reminiscing. So again, the Chief Executive Officer of the Orange Bowl Committee. Everybody's talking about, Eric, the newly expanded 12-team playoff. As I mentioned, the Orange Bowl this year, the Capital One Orange Bowl, will be hosting the semifinal to the newly expanded playoff. That's got to be exciting for you guys. The first year, I'm sure everybody would have wanted to be hosting the big one, but that's coming soon. To be able to not only be a part of it, but have such an important game throughout this process has to be something you're all looking forward to.
We are. I mean, I've been at the Orange Bowl over 30 years now, so I've seen the evolution of postseason college football really in the modern era. It started with the Bowl Coalition back in the early 90s that graduated to the Bowl Alliance, to the BCS, and now the CFP era. And when the CFP started, which was 10 years ago, was the 4-team model, and we've enjoyed it. We had a national semifinal every 3 years, and this was actually going to be our next semifinal in the 4-team model, but we knew over the past couple of years there was a lot of momentum to expand the playoff, and we're just proud to have Miami and South Florida well positioned as a national semifinal, national quarterfinal each and every year, have one of those legs in the 4-round playoff. So Miami will shine, Hard Rock Stadium will shine. We've been doing this 91 years for us.
Yeah.
And when you have games of relevance, whether it's a national championship game to a semifinal, now a quarterfinal, there's so much excitement that comes with those fan bases into the local community. So it'll be great.
And I imagine 12-team expansion is also just a plus, right? Because whether or not you're hosting the semifinal or the college football national championship game, there's going to be ample opportunities to be on that big stage moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, we take great pride in our history. It's the second oldest bowl game in the country, right after the Rose Bowl, and it's just a great tradition. There's nothing really in the South Florida marketplace that emulates what this event has meant to our community, and we're standing on the shoulders of so many generations that had this vision back in the early 30s. But you have to be attuned to the times.
Right.
And college athletics is going through a transformative change. It's made its way to postseason college football. We're just so honored that the Capital One Orange Bowl would be in that position. It means so much economic development to the area, and by virtue of the success of the bowl game, we're able to do so much in the community to give back, and we just want to sustain this tradition. We're excited about it. Starting this year, it's going to be a national semifinal on a Thursday night, and all eyes of America will be on Hard Rock Stadium.
You mentioned, other parts of what the Orange Bowl Committee has been able to do throughout South Florida.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that because I know, whether it's the Orange Bowl Food and Wine Festival, I believe the Orange Bowl Cares as well.
Yeah.
I remember you spoke with Zach Krantz about it last year, and I
Yeah.
watched the interview on Krantz's Corner. You talked about the 4 pillars
Yes.
of the Orange Bowl
Yes.
Cares, giving back to the community,
Yeah.
and everything that comes with it. And you talk about the longstanding tradition of the Orange Bowl. I believe that's the part not only you, but the rest of your committee is most proud of, the way that, you've been able – I think you brought up Geno Smith last year, somebody who grew up 2 blocks away from Hard Rock Stadium and then broke Orange Bowl records, to be able to kind of see all of it continue to grow and then have that experience of somebody who literally grew up with goals of being in that game and then seeing it all come to fruition, I believe has to be very, very gratifying.
It is. I mean, it starts with your mission statement. For us, it's been about economic development from the very beginning, and we've had great success for 91 years in doing that, and that will continue. But to your point, you want to give back. It's about celebrating your community in so many different ways, and we've evolved in our community outreach efforts, but that Orange Bowl Cares platform with the 4 pillars, which has to do with athletics and youth sports in particular, you get into education, you go into community engagement, and then you go to the legacy projects, and you just look around and you see how much you can touch people in all corners of the community. And as you gave the example, we very involved with youth football, in cheerleading in the area. And to see a lot of these kids that are in that program go on and play at a high level, at the high school level, and then to move on into the college level. And sometimes they're in your game, and you just sit there and say, this is what it really is it's about, celebrating your community and doing goodwill. So we're going to continue to do that. It's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be different. It's going to be a leg in a 4-round playoff, so it's going to be a lot of build-up into that semifinal game. We hope the excitement carries into that last leg of it. And remember, not this year, but the next year, we are bringing the CFP National Championship game to Miami, to South Florida, and it's going to be part of this expansion in a dramatic way.
It's a big year, 2026, because you have the World Cup coming to South Florida. And, we talk about Hard Rock Stadium and the partnership that the Capital One Orange Bowl has with Hard Rock Stadium. But when you think of, what it's become, I was talking with Roman Harper earlier. He won a Super Bowl in 2010. And I'm going to be talking with Kirby Smart a little bit later. He worked in 2006. And, to think about what the stadium was back then, a good stadium, to now what it's become. It's fascinating, right? Hosting Formula One and all the different events that it's hosting. But college football national title game is right up there with one of the best things that stadium can be hosting.
I mean, what Steve Ross, Tom Garfinkel have built with that venue is remarkable. It really is. And we've been the beneficiary of that, as other entities such as the University of Miami, Miami Open, Formula One. Listen, you need to have a great stadium to bring in great events in any community. We're very fortunate to have Hard Rock Stadium, and it's going to be a huge year in 2026. I mean, not only do we have World Cup, but you offer the World Baseball Classic.
Right.
We have a quarterfinal on January 1, and literally 18 days later we have the national championship game coming. So it speaks a lot about what Miami and South Florida mean to the sports world in America. And it's our focus, our intent to make sure we protect that and continue to grow in the years to come.
Helping put Miami on the map, the Orange Bowl Committee. If fans listening want to get involved outside from buying tickets to the Orange Bowl, is there a way for them to do that? Because I know you talk about youth football and all the other measures that the Orange Bowl Committee has put in place to give back. Is there a way for fans listening that want to, get involved to do that?
Yeah, there absolutely is. Listen, the way we present the Orange Bowl is nobody owns the Orange Bowl. It's the community that owns the Orange Bowl. It's different than most events because it's carried by, the generation upon generation of community leaders and so forth. But anybody can get involved. I mean, from a corporate standpoint, there's tremendous opportunities to, brand yourself, connect to everything the Orange Bowl does, not just the Capital One Orange Bowl game, but all the events we do. But in terms of the fans that want to volunteer, we have our Orange Bowl Ambassadors program. We need a lot of manpower to pull off what we do each and every year. And it's not just during the bowl week. It's throughout the entire year with all the events that we do. So we'd encourage them. You go on our website, you can call our office, and we'll be happy to bring them aboard.
Awesome. Eric, thank you so much. Again, Eric Poms, Chief Executive Officer of the Orange Bowl Committee. From K-Town, from Kendall, just like me. We'll have to grab dinner at La Carreta on,
Ready to go.
88th one day.
There
Eric,
you go.
Eric, thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
the time,
much.
and
Okay.
we'll talk in the future, I'm sure.
You got it. Thanks so
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah, we'll take a break
Take care.
here again. SEC Media Days. It's part of our Capital One Orange Bowl Media Tour presented by Duffy Sports Grill.